So you were 0-4 last week. I was 3-1. If you'd like, and I think I've leapfrogged you in the standings now. I think I'm up to 5th place now. If you'd like, I'll make some of these picks first, so you have the opportunity to copy me if you want. But otherwise, I'll let you go first. You tell me.
After you, sir.
First game of the week: Buffalo at Toronto.
You're going first, not me.
Okay. Well, I think it's one of those games where that was an absolute, I don't know any other way of saying it, it was an absolute embarrassment right from the top down, and I think it's going to be a very highly emotional game. I think there's a little bit of shenanigans that went on at the end of the game last week. I think that's going to continue, and I think it's going to continue early because I really don't see it getting any better for Toronto, and I think Buffalo's going to win this, and I think we're going to win it big again.
Yeah, you know, you're going to see...
I don't think 25, but
no,
I wouldn't be shocked.
You know, the Rock are going to have to key on Mark Steenhouse. 17 points, set a new NLL record last weekend, 4 goals and 13 assists. I think the Rocket got to key on him, and when they're going to key on him, he's going to have some of the bigger boys on the Bandits come over and get in some of the Rock players' face. We're going to see, like you said, we're going to see some fireworks early on. And if the Rock don't put up some fireworks early on, they got to do some gut checks and all the other stupid little catchphrases that sports people usually use. But you got to do it this weekend. Buffalo by 2.
Okay, one other thing on Steenhouse too, and it was pointed out on the fan forum, a lot of those assists, 13 assists the other night, a lot of those were first assists. So it wasn't like he was sandbagging down in the corner, gave it to someone, who gave it to somebody else. And I think we touched on it earlier in the year, and I think I made the comment that this guy, I think, has finally gotten the gist of the pro game, and he has completely turned himself into an all-around player. You know, moving the ball used to be a knock on Steenhouse a little bit. He didn't move the ball. He liked to hold on to the ball. Well, you know what? Any great goal scorer loves to hold on to the ball. He's done that now, and as you say, 13 assists the other night certainly shows he can move the ball. So the other game on Friday night, Boston is in Minnesota.
Okay.
It's me again.
You're
okay,
up first.
right.
You know?
I'm going to go against home floor advantage a little bit this week, and I just touched on it in the first part of the segment this week. I really like Boston. I like everything that they're doing, and I'm going to take Boston to upset Minnesota this week.
I'm going to agree with you on that one too.
Yeah.
Boston over Minnesota, even though Minnie's at home.
Yeah.
Boston's on a roll.
Saturday night, Minnesota, the same swarm, go into Philadelphia to play Philadelphia. One of those teams that we cannot seem to get a handle on.
No. Come on, dude, you're first this week.
Am I going all? Okay.
That was it, because I've done them all first the last few weeks.
I'm so used to you going first.
Yeah.
I think there, again, Minnesota will be a little bit angry about the night before, and Philly, I don't know what's going on with Philly. You pick them, they lose. You don't pick them, they win. But I'm going to take Minnesota to take that one.
And I'm going to agree with you. I'm not being a copycat here for the same reasons. No. For the same reasons that you are. Minnesota's going to be a bit pissed at losing on Friday night to Boston.
Yeah.
And like I said, I can't figure out Philadelphia.
Yeah. Saturday night, New York is at Rochester, a rematch of this past week. This one here is really, really tough because Rochester actually started out that game Sunday night pretty well in New York. And for whatever reason, well, I don't know what's going on in Rochester either. They seem to just give up the game, a number of penalties. I know New York scored a lot of power play goals.
Yeah.
Back in Rochester, though, I think it might be a little bit different scenario. I'm going to take Rochester this week to take that home game.
Yeah, Patty O'Toole's going to stone them. They got to take Casey Powell out of the equation early.
That's easy.
And I picked the Nighthawks.
Okay. Very good game. Colorado at San Jose on Saturday night.
That's going to be a beauty, Oscar. I'm going to jump in on this one too.
Go ahead.
Colorado, San Jose. San Jose, they are another one that confuses me. At the beginning of the season, I thought they were going to win the West, to tell you the truth, and they kind of disappointed me. But Colin Doyle still putting up really good numbers. Colorado, on the other hand, needs to keep winning. Colorado.
I'm going to take San Jose in this one.
Okay.
Colorado, I think, is not out of the woods yet. I think that was an absolute must-win. I think this week is a must-win for them, but it's also a must-win for San Jose. And whenever you got two teams, as far as I'm concerned, whenever there's two teams in a must-win situation, I always usually lean to the home team.
Yeah, but you know, San Jose, worst crowds in the league, you know, It's like,
I'm saying like it's playing in an empty building.
yeah, So San Jose probably does better on the road because they're more fired up because of the crowd.
Yeah. I got to stick with San Jose there. Sunday night game this week. This one should be a good one actually.
Yeah.
Boston goes into Calgary. So Boston plays Friday night in Minnesota, Sunday night in Calgary.
Okay. Flying across country.
I'm not sure if that might be an afternoon game. I don't know. But Sunday.
Roughnecks, they're not going to roll over and die. Calgary.
Yeah, and I think I'll stick with that one as well. I think last week was their wake-up call, and I think Mr. Cordingley might have a few comments for the boys on that loss. And I think moving forward, I'm not going to say they won't lose again, but I think he'll have them ready for this week. And Boston, having played Friday night on the road, going to another road game, I think Calgary will win that one.
And don't forget about Coach Sanderson. There is a guy with a proven record, both in the pros and in the Major League Series here in Ontario. They're not going to roll over and die by any means.
You wanted to speak a little bit about the game night ops?
Yeah, I started out last week about the state of the economy in the game and how everybody's got to, pump it up a little bit to get the more butts in the seats. And I've had a few comments on some of the local web pages here about what I said. One of the things I want to talk about is pool your resources, everybody. Here I'm speaking OLA-wise right now. Bring them to us. We'll talk about them here. If we've got any ideas, we'll throw them out there too. We got to get more creative to make the entertainment value of our games better. One of the things that I heard about last year, and check into this yourself if you're watching this, team operators, purchase an insurance policy that will cover you in the event that one of your big promotions fails. And what I mean by that example is a big promotion that maybe have one night a year. Perhaps it might be the night that Gary and I are in the building, that if you shoot the ball the length of the floor into a hole this big, you win a car. You can purchase an insurance policy against that loss that would be covered by the sale of the tickets for that event. So let's say it's $5 a ticket to get a chance to do this, and they draw it all season long until that special night, and then all the accumulated money there pays the insurance policy. You might even have some left over, and if they don't win, they don't win. Hey, you've had lots of people come to your games. If they do win, wow, what a promotion. Yep. And you don't lose because the insurance policy covers you against losing. Now, that is one I've heard of. I've never seen it done.
Wasn't that kind of like the $1 million hole-in-one or something?
Same
like
kind
that?
of thing,
I've heard about
right?
that in golf.
It doesn't have to be a car; it could be a fridge, whatever, And in this difficult economic times, please, everybody, I wrote about it the other day on the internet. Was that a sign at your table that says "Thank you to our dear fans for your admission in the form of the donation at the door tonight in our admission." That that keeps lacrosse alive, and we keep bringing you this every week. And without you guys, without the fans out there, we can't do this. Yeah. So please, and all you knuckleheads that come around the back door and try and sneak in for free, come on, buck up the $5, $6, whatever it is they charge to get in, because those people paid to watch you when you were playing. Yeah. So do the right thing, and cash your beer bottles in and stuff like that, and get some money, come out of the game, and pay at the door.
Well, and at the end of the day, I mean, if the guys around the back want to do that, just understand, if you keep doing that, eventually there's not going to be a team there.
No, there's going to be no team.
You're not going to have anything to go watch.
Can't do it.
Or you're going to have to drive an hour or 2 hours to see the next closest team that is getting the fans paid at the door.
Pool your resources. It's like, funny Hawaiian shirt night, two different shoe night, something.
That's one of the things that I wanted to say. Like, you had some really great ideas, and I know you had mentioned one to Glenn Little last year in Oakville. And I don't know that they sold the place out, but I know Glenn had contacted you and said that it was a really good night.
Well, Glenn has the penchant for wearing the loud Hawaiian shirts on those hot summer nights. He was here in Whitby one night and wearing one, and I gave him the gears about it. And when I saw his GM up on the board last year complain about nobody in the seats, I wrote Glenn and I said, geez, Glenn, have a ugly Hawaiian shirt night or something. Everybody gets in for half price or gets a free 50-50 ticket or something. And the other one was, I think it was the last game of the playoffs, one running shoe, one flip-flop. Either one, you're going to the beach or you're going on to the playoffs. Something silly to get people interested and have some fun.
Yeah. So that's what we've talked about. I mean, it's gimmicks, it's ideas, and it's the sort of ideas that you need to come out with now.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's going to wrap up this week's show. So on behalf of Ron Messer, who is...
Catch the social diseases sweeping the nation. Go to a lacrosse game near you soon.
My name is Gary Mark, reminding everybody out there to stay safe, be good, keep your stick in the air, and keep those magazine subscriptions coming.
Peace.